Before I get started today, I just want to say to all the haters, y'all keep on hating because the more y'all hate, the more money I make. Y'all be hating on me and my money keep piling up and I don't give a about your opinion. Keep hating, keep talking that trash, keep saying that I'm the worst that you've ever heard because I really don't care. See, I ain't like the rest of these because while y'all sitting there saying that I suck, I be working all the time. I be doing this shit 5 days a week. While everybody else be on Twitter talking about, oh, I'm sore, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm depressed. Yeah, well, I'm depressed, I'm sick, and I'm sore too, but I post every fucking day. So keep hating. Go listen to them other bitch-ass narrators, because I don't give a I cannot be nice and I won't be nice. Y'all want to come at me with some shit like that? I'll come back at you too. I'll block your ass and I don't give a Coffinbrood 2021. Enjoy the show. Scary stories. So this story is about a friend that I used to have. We'll call him Ken. Ken and I were friends for like 10 years. I used to call Ken and he'd listen to my problems and he'd give me advice. And when I was upset, I would cry on his shoulder and he'd comfort me. Ken gave me a place to stay when my parents kicked me out. Ken helped me get my driver's license and even helped me get into college. Ken helped me with my addiction. Then Ken lost his job and he called me and wanted my help. And I was like, sorry, dude, I can't help you. I was just too busy with my career and everything else going on. Ken found a job and asked me out to dinner and told me he'd always had feelings for me, and I found it so gross. He pretended to be my friend and only helped me because he thought he could get the goods. I find it absolutely disgusting the length some men will go to try and get with a woman. Ken, I appreciate the help you gave me, but I don't owe you anything. How dare you try to cross the line between friend and lover? It makes me feel gross knowing that Ken was probably thinking about me the whole time. I lived with him. He was just waiting for a vulnerable moment that he could manipulate me into a relationship with him. Just because you gave me a place to live when I was homeless, you fed me when I was hungry, and you helped me get off of the drugs and protected me when I was in danger, doesn't mean I have to return the kindness. I don't have to be there for you. I understand that we were friends, but I moved on and made new friends. I don't like the fact that you called so much and texted so much. Once a week is just fine. You don't need to know how I'm doing all the time. I tried to file a restraining order against Ken and the police just looked at me like I was stupid. Ken is stalking me. I'm tired of him wanting to know how I'm doing, and I'm tired of him asking if he did something wrong. Of course you did something wrong. You asked a friend out to dinner, and you fantasized about wanting to be with me, like you didn't know we were just friends. Once a month is more than enough for a healthy friendship. How dare you suggest that we spend more time together? I find it repulsive that you'd even suggest such a thing. I understand that I spend more time with other people and you feel jealous, but I have to spend that time with those other people, and you don't need to know if I am okay all the time. If I wanted you to know how I was doing or where I was, I'd let you know. So Ken, stop asking about me and get a life, dude. And also, Ken, how dare your sister say that I'm an ungrateful bitch? Just because I don't talk to you anymore. We just aren't compatible, and how dare you suggest that I pay you back or that you expect me to give you a place to stay like you don't know other people. I would have been just fine without your so-called help. I now know not to trust a man that offers me so much help. I don't allow myself to get close to people like you anymore. You should have been upfront from the beginning. No one just develops feelings like that over time. It's sickening, and I won't have it in my life. How dare you send me an invitation to your wedding? You were only doing this to hurt me. And how dare you tell me how well you are doing in your career? You're only doing that to make me feel bad about not reciprocating your feelings towards me. You hurt my feelings with your invitation. That girl you were marrying probably put you up to it because she wants to get back at me because you imagine that I hurt you in some way. But you hurt me. You violated my trust when you revealed that you liked me as more than a friend. I was like a sister to you, and you should have known that. I will not go to your wedding, and I don't owe you a fucking thing. Get off of my Facebook and stop sending me friend requests and stop trying to be a part of my life. I had just broken up with my girlfriend and I was just on Facebook talking to friends and trying to meet new people. One night I saw a cute, somewhat nerdy girl and I decided to send her a friend request and she accepted my friend request. I sent her a message. I simply sent her, "Hi." Not "Hi, how are you?" Not "Hi, my name is Jimmy." I just simply sent her a "Hi." And this girl replies with a gigantic wall of text. "Hi, how are you? Have we met before? If not, it's nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah." I don't remember everything that she said. It seemed a bit strange, and I should have taken it as a sign that she was fucking insane, or she did it deliberately as a joke or a way to get me to back off. But I took the bait and decided to reply back to her. "I'm not sure. I know a lot of people in this town. I may have met you through a friend and I don't remember." Somehow, she knew this was a lie, but she didn't know that she hadn't met me. I really became suspicious of this girl, but continued talking to her. I asked her out to dinner and she said yes, and then she disappeared for a week or two, and I was left on pause wondering what the fuck. Suddenly, out of the blue, she changes her privacy settings to where no one knows when she's online or anything. So I got tired of dealing with her bullshit, and I ignored her for 6 months. And then suddenly, she sends me some rambling nonsense about how she had to change her settings because guys were sending her pictures of their dicks and fuckboys were harassing her. And I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, sure, do you want to go out sometime? Then she said yes. Then she tried to backtrack and make a bunch of fucking excuses. I finally got her to come out, and it was utterly disastrous. The first night I had gotten her to come out was at around 2 a.m. in the fucking morning, and it was storming. See, normally, if I'm picking up a chick at 2 a.m., I figure it's a booty call, but this girl didn't seem to think anything of it. I could tell she was off. I picked her up again, and we went to the park, and we talked about boundaries and other shit. She sat right there and told me she wouldn't mind if I did this and that. Oh, you're probably wondering what I mean by this and that. I mean, I sat right there and I asked her about hugging, touching, oral sex, and all kinds of shit, and she acted like she was down for anything, only to find out she was completely and utterly full of shit. I took her to my friend's house and got her high and got her drunk and bought her dinner, and I was really enjoying her company and thought she was amazing. And then my friend bans her from the house. Apparently she went and told my friend's girlfriend that I was creepy and rapey and I was a fucking bum. She said I was a fucking bum. This 26-year-old lazy, manipulative trailer trash bitch who has no fucking job, lives with her parents, has no sense of fucking style, no fucking social skills, and seemingly no goddamn conscience at all, and is a lying-ass, misleading fucking cunt, had the audacity to tell my friend's girlfriend that I'm a fucking bum? I have a fucking career. I have money in the bank. I own my own car. And I have designer clothes. I'm not bragging. Honestly, I'm just making a fucking point. This lazy, manipulative piece of fucking trash has the audacity to call me a fucking bum when I have more than she'll probably ever have, and I would have given her the world? She led me on by coming off as either crazy as fuck or overly interested, and I knew it was probably a waste of time or too good to be true. I later find out that she's addicted to sleeping pills or some kind of shit. I was stupid enough to give this junkie bitch money. I was stupid enough to let her use me for free dinners and all kinds of other shit. But the moment I start wanting to date her, she all of a sudden starts distancing herself from me. She all of a sudden has a bunch of other guys craving her attention. She went from a shy, nerdy gamer girl to becoming a full-blown gold-digging bitch with cucks willing to put up with her bullshit just because I was the first man to tell her off and tell her how much of a piece of fucking shit she is. None of it makes any sense to me. This bitch sucked my dick for marijuana and sucked my dick numerous times, then tells me that she doesn't want to fuck me and doesn't want to date me, but yet she was gagging and choking on my dick for over a fucking hour, and I never forced her to do anything she did not want to do. She willingly did it all, and now she's a lesbian? Bitch, please. I invited her to have Thanksgiving dinner with me and my friends, and she ignored me until after Thanksgiving. Every time I stopped talking to her, she jumps on Facebook for literally a minute and writes some long rambling shit, then jumps off for days, sometimes weeks, and ignores my replies until I delete them because I get sick of waiting for her and she never asks what I said. I've cussed her out multiple times and it's gotten me nowhere. She's messaged me in the middle of the fucking night to ask me stupid questions like, "Was that you parked in the yard?" And I'd be at work. She told me that it was perfectly fine for me to go to her house anytime, and then she has a fucking fit when I do. She tells me that she's not smoking meth or smoking crack, but yet every behavioral pattern she has displayed indicates to me that she is in fact smoking crack or meth. She never leaves the house. She's always tired. She talks to herself. She has these weird obsessions that make no sense. She is paranoid, and she apparently likes to get into trouble. She can't hold a conversation to save her life, and she is shady as fuck. Today, you are about to enter into the mind of a paranoid delusional schizophrenic. I don't know when I became a paranoid delusional schizophrenic or what triggered it in the first place. I don't know if I was born with it or if it developed over time or if it happened as a part of some trauma that occurred in my life, but I will try to remember as far back as I can. As far back as I remember, my life was always pretty terrible. My parents were alcoholics. My brother was a drug addict. He started smoking crack at around the age of 23 years old. If I remember correctly, I was always treated like I was mentally retarded. I kinda accepted this answer and just let it ride its course until I decided I no longer wanted to be viewed in that light. In middle school, I was bullied so bad that I became violent and even retaliated and beat the hell out of some of my bullies or people that I assumed were bullies. I used to go to school all the time and I had good grades all the way up until about 8th grade, whenever I really stopped giving a fuck about school altogether. My parents got divorced and it came as a shock to me. I was told that no one would ever love me and that I'd never be happy in life. And here I am now at the age of 34 years old and I'm completely and utterly fucking miserable. I idolized Marilyn Manson and the Columbine shooting. I often dreamt of wanting to do the same thing to my school, but I never had the balls or my mental state wasn't as damaged. I got into Satanism and black magic and even believed the nightmares I started having were real. I felt like I was possessed by evil spirits. I had disturbing thoughts I could not get out of my head, and I even lost friends because I was just too creepy and dark to be around. I tried playing it off as being into the goth lifestyle, and that no one should take it too seriously. I remember the first time I smoked crystal meth. It was some time after I'd broken up with about the only girl that I'd ever truly loved, and many people still think I'm insane to this day. This first and only girl that I ever loved was Kayla, and even to this day, even though I hate her more than anything, and had horrific, demonic dreams about her after breaking up with her years later, she was the only one. I remember I had told my friend Kelly, and she burst into tears. Kelly was someone that was there for me when no one else was after I'd broken up with Kayla. I never understood exactly what the fuck Kelly wanted from me, or if she wanted anything at all from me. I never felt like I was worth anyone's time, but Kayla, I felt like she truly liked me for me, because she obviously knew I was poor, and that I was trash, and yet she stayed in my life for a while. She may have been leading me on, and sadly with her, I don't really care if she were only leading me on to hurt me later. I feel grateful that I even got to feel her lips and her embrace. Years later, I would talk about murdering people in a casual way, and some people would entertain me and listen or join in on it. I started listening to black metal and I thought it was the best thing in the world, and I idolized many of the musicians in the scene. The crazier they were, the more I idolized them to the point of pure obsession. I would listen to black metal in my room in the winter and sit in my room and freeze. I seemed to enjoy the bitter cold and the music blasting. I dated several other girls after Kayla, and it felt nice knowing that she wasn't the only one. And yet, every one that I dated broke up with me for reasons that made no fucking sense. I continued to watch my friend group get smaller and smaller, and more people started hating me. And then I got jumped, and my reputation went straight to hell. And I became reclusive and stopped having respect for most people, and most people stopped having respect for me. I was used and made fun of for reasons I don't understand. I was treated like absolute shit. I finally gave up on dating and stopped trying to have friends or even know anyone. I suffered in silence and misery for many years. I felt like I was cursed. I really felt like something had taken over my life and just came and ruined everything in my life. Here I was, the best looking person in my entire friend group, the most charismatic, the most desirable, and I was failing at everything in the dating world. It made no fucking sense, and still doesn't. I decided to go out one night and get cigarettes or something, and I met this girl working at the gas station, and she seemed overly interested in me, and I found it strange. We started hanging out, and then we got together, and we were together for a while, and then she all of a sudden decides that she doesn't want to be with me, and she leaves me, and none of it makes any sense at all. I remember sleeping with her and waking up in the middle of the night and having anxiety over her leaving me. And she promises me that she'll never leave me. Then she leaves me 2 years later, just as I had feared she would. I then start talking to a friend that I dated a few times and that I was supposed to hook up with the night that I got with the girl from the gas station, and she gets naked on camera and says a bunch of shit. Then she gets mad at me and stops talking to me and blocks me. Yeah, that makes perfect fucking sense. About 1.5 years later, some other random shit that makes no goddamn sense happens, and 1 week, my life and my mental health utterly devolved, and the entire world changed around me. I often feel like none of this can possibly be real. I never really had any friends to begin with, as it turns out. It started with someone that I vaguely remember from high school. I tried talking to her and she pretended to be too busy. She wouldn't answer her messages. Then another girl I'd been talking to for a while, I got tired of chasing. I got tired of trying to be friends with some neckbeard I thought was my friend for a long time. I started using drugs. Then all of the drug addicts all of a sudden stopped and claimed they don't want to do it all the time. My neighborhood became really quiet for seemingly no reason. for some reason, the people that were living at my friend's house up and moved out, like they mysteriously found all this fucking money to up and leave. People on Facebook all of a sudden turned on me. I kept getting replies like, "You're too depressing to talk to." There was just too much drama around there. Or I'd blatantly get ignored by people that were supposedly my friend in the past. I would talk to some friends and tell them about all of the horrible things I have to deal with, and their most helpful advice is, "Fuck them if they don't have time for you," which seems to be an admission of how they actually feel about me. I hear about these so-called stories of how people get off of the drugs and then they magically become successful. But anytime I come off of the drugs, I realize how lonely and miserable I am. Someone else starts using drugs and they become popular. They get off of the drugs and they're still popular. I get on the drugs and I'm a loser. And when I stop using drugs, I'm the police. Every so-called friend that I ever had has hurt me in some way. And yet, they still all get along with each other because they all have this secret hatred for me. I read on Facebook about how real everyone is. Yeah, y'all motherfuckers are so real. Real fake. Fake as fuck. Lying ass, shady motherfuckers. There seems to be this group conscience that everyone has to move as far away from me as humanly possible. My family hates me and mocks me and wants nothing to do with me. My so-called friends think I'm stupid as fuck and they hate me. Somehow, my friends expected more from me. They expected me to rise from the slums to become a rich and successful person. Yeah, they knew I didn't have the same advantages as they did. They judged me for hanging out with the one person I did hang out with, but they were too busy hanging out with their cool friends. While I was strung out because last I heard they were also strung out, they all of a sudden found Jesus or decided to clean up their act. They went from supposedly loving my straightforwardness to acting like everything I say or do is wrong. All of my relationships were ruined, and no one had a single bit of sympathy for anything that was happening in my life. I lived literally one house down from the house that all of my friends would always hang out at, and yet they never invited me to hang out with them. And they pretend like I was the one that was being stuck up. They would give me their phone number, and then they'd ignore my phone calls, my texts, and they would randomly change their number and then disappear for 6 or 7 months and act like they did nothing wrong. They would lure me into a conversation and bring up memories they knew were painful for me just to trigger me, and then, when I say shit, they would fucking share it amongst themselves and secretly laugh at me or criticize me and make me look like the bad guy. I feel unwelcome and unwanted in the presence of some people, and the moment I said I didn't feel welcome and I felt like no one wanted me around, I'd be told it was all in my head. I said my mental health and my entire life devolved in 1 week because in 1 week so much shit happened. In 1 week I was left unread by all of my so-called friends. My phone calls were ignored, my texts were ignored, I was made fun of, I was lied to, I was manipulated, I was told to fuck off. All of this happened before in the past, but nothing was as bad as it is now. I've never had everyone all at once do this to me. The best advice I get from anyone is, don't fuck up your life. My life was already a fucking disaster, Sean. And I already had nothing, and already had lost everything before I ever even got on the shit. I was off of the shit for several years, and everyone else was magically on it, and the moment I decided to try and use it as a bonding thing, to try and be friends with someone, they all of a sudden are doing better, and are better than me, and have a better life. I decided to leave Facebook and leave all social media. I have no friends, and don't understand how anything works. I don't give a fuck that some bitch likes Pepsi, or that some other asshole posts a bunch of shitty memes. Everyone wants to claim it's because we are older now and that things are different now. But as far as I can see, things are the same as they have always been. Facebook is a toxic cesspool of liars and fake friends. Facebook wants to be your phone. No one gives out their phone number anymore, but gets hysterical whenever you call them on Messenger. They won't answer a text message sent through SMS, and they barely answer a message sent through Facebook Messenger. Facebook's motto is connecting people. But since the creation of Facebook, I have felt a disconnect with everyone that claimed they were my friend. I've gotten into more shit with people from Facebook than I ever did with people through MySpace or the phone. Before Facebook, I knew who my enemies were and who was really there for me. I knew when someone was being truthful and honest with me. Now I can't tell who is trying to use me and who isn't. You may think this isn't very scary, but picture this. You know someone for over 10 years, and then you go to their house and you do everything to help them, and they betray you and put your life in danger, and everyone acts like it's no big deal and acts like you should have known better than to trust that person. How the fuck was I supposed to know that this person was a scumbag when everyone keeps secrets from me and doesn't bother to warn me? How was I supposed to know that I was putting my life in danger, or you supposedly haven't talked to this person in years because of something they did? You never told me about it. You never said, do you remember his or her name? Yeah, you should stay away from them for this reason. No, you never did anything because you, like the person that betrayed me, was never there and disappeared and held all of your secrets because you did not care. If you're new, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, as it really helps me out. And if you are already subscribed, welcome back and thank you for subscribing.